Welcome to Deep Dive Film School. I am Adam Sherlock.
And I'm Adam Palcher.
If you like what you see/hear, please like and subscribe. You can find us on all the spaces and places that people what?
Find good media. That's right. Our most popular platforms are Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So please join us there. You can also join me at Letterboxd at Adam Palcher there. And I'll be talking about Letterboxd a lot today, probably. I log all my stuff. We're going over the best movies of 2025.
Palcher's Journal.
And then my final Sundance at Utah in 2026. I saw 35 movies.
Oh my God.
So
is that the most you've ever seen?
I don't think it's the most, but it's up there.
God.
After COVID, everything went online, so you can crank them out a lot more there.
Right.
But also, I'm in a press tent, so I'm basically in the same venue for a lot of it. So I'm just kind of recycling through different time periods and what I want to see. But I'll go over those. I definitely have a lot of love for Sundance. It was my 27th year going.
Wow.
My 17th as a member of the press through the podcast. And it's just been an amazing journey. So it'll be fun to reflect on that and talk about some of the movies I saw.
Nice. Well, before we get to the Sundance portion, we will be doing... Now, see, in years past, we did what was called Tops and Flops.
That's right.
And you...
Famously,
because you would see so many movies, way more than I normally would. And so I would usually just do my Andy Rooney thing and like bitch about stuff I didn't really understand.
Yeah.
So movies I had not seen, but that just seemed terrible. And this year, like, I texted you earlier and I was like, I'm going to do, I watched a lot more movies this year, I think.
I was going to say, I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of times it's not, but I think I watched a lot more movies this year. And then I think also the movies that were bad, like I made a list and then I was like, I don't really care. Like there's that Sydney Sweeney movie that she did that like bombed worse than any movie has bombed in like the last 30 years. There's nothing interesting about it to complain about, you know what? And so...
No, I always love hearing your opinions, especially if you've seen a lot of new stuff this year. It's crazy, especially since you're using Letterboxd because of Sundance and those 35 movies. I've already seen 55 movies this year. So I log everything. So please join me there. The link is in the comments.
You've seen 55 movies in 2 months?
Yep.
Jesus.
You got to realize, though, Sundance, I'm seeing probably four
you
a
banked
day.
a ton there, yeah.
It is what it is, but excited to share with you guys. But let's get into 2025.
Do you want to go? Do you want me to go first? You want you to go first? Like, what do we want to do here?
Let's go with you. I think that's totally fine. This was a hell of a year for movies.
Yes, it really was.
Seriously, there was some great shit. My number 10 movie in any other year would probably be in my top 5, but there seriously was such great stuff and truly some great horror as well. So
big time.
I'll be excited to see what you have on your list.
Well, let's go ahead and start with my number 5. And really, like, I think the first couple I'm doing are in order, and like my last two, it's not necessarily because one was better than the other, but my number 5 is the horror/science fiction movie directed by Drew Hancock, Companion. So this is Jack Quaid, Sophie Thatcher, Harvey Guillen from What We Do in the Shadows. And even if the major plot point twist is spoiled for you, which they did in the trailers, which is like, stop fucking doing that, man.
Please stop. I don't even watch trailers anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it was so bad that they did this because like it's a really great one, and they actually are able to bury it pretty well in the first 15 minutes of the movie. Is that Sophie Thatcher is a android, right? So it's a robot girlfriend movie.
Yeah, I don't think that's a secret.
Well, no, but I mean, they do spoil it. I mean, if you watch it, it has a nice little like, oh wow, that's a fun twist that you could have probably fooled a couple people with.
Sure.
But even without that, it has so many other great little twists and moments in it as the movie goes along. Did you see this one?
I did.
It is, as we continue to evolve into what the actual plot is, because the actual plot has nothing to do with the fact that there's a robot girlfriend, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
Right? That there's sort of this heist thing and double cross and triple crosses and other robot characters we don't know about originally. And then this whole idea of the way that your memories can, we have flashbacks from people that we learn later are not reliable flashbacks. And so then we get new versions of the same flashback with different actors playing different characters. I've never really seen that in a movie before. And to see a movie that doesn't take itself very seriously, but still has a lot of thrills in it and still does some really surprising stuff. like, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's why it's fun to watch like going to a movie blind,
Yeah.
and actually see something that is quite violent and gory, but is like obviously relishing in it the entire time.
Definitely leaning into the horror realm of it all, I think,
Oh, yeah,
for
very
sure.
much so.
I was with this movie for 95% of it. I really liked it. The storytelling to your performance. I love Sophie Thatcher.
Yeah,
She's
she's
amazing
great.
in Yellow Jackets, if you've ever
Oh, yeah.
seen that show. She's going to be an up-and-comer, I think. I think she's
100%.
gonna be totally awesome.
I think a lot of the girls from that are.
For sure, yeah. From Yellow Jackets,
Yeah.
for sure. But I thought the way it ended, literally like the last like five, like not even 5 minutes, like 2 minutes. I'm like, that's the stupidest fucking ending I've ever seen. And maybe it was supposed to be that way, but I rolled my eyes.
We might have
it
to
made
talk-
me hate it less.
We might or
Hate
love it less.
Love it less. Yeah.
We might have to talk offline about what that part is, because I don't even know if I could suss out specifically what it was, because
Yeah.
I think I was just on board that
But-
by the time we got to the dismount, I was like, whatever. Like,
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of what they did too, at least in my opinion. But
Okay.
But it is an entertaining watch. I did enjoy it. I
Yeah.
did have fun.
I think it's got a lot of rewatchability quality to it, just because like once you kind of understand what's happening, I think you could go back and be like, oh, that's why this character's been acting this way the whole time. That's why this one's
I
acting
think
this way.
it probably deserves a rewatch
Yeah.
too. But I did enjoy it. I did have fun. It was like a fun premise.
Yeah.
And no, it was good. It was good. Getting to mine, I'll go with my number 5. It's this seriously was a hard year to rank these. Like all of these could have been were number 1 at one point.
Right, right.
On my list until the others came out and you kind of let the dust settle and see kind of what really sticks with you.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of
I've written that
it.
down multiple times.
Really?
It's like maybe in the moment I was like, okay, and then like 4 days later you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
Right?
and,
Like-
and I've seen all of these except for one multiple times. So because I do like to do it, but like stuff like Del Toro's Frankenstein, fucking brilliant.
Right.
Park Chan-wook's newest movie, No Other Choice,
Other
also
Choice.
brilliant. I thought Wes Anderson's Phoenician Scheme was his best movie since Grand Budapest. I fucking loved it.
I haven't seen that one
Oh,
yet.
dude, you have to. It's
Okay.
so good.
I've
Benicio,
been.
I love you.
I know, me too. I've been uncurious lately about Wes Anderson's output.
Was it Atomic something?
Yeah,
That
Atomic
one?
City or
Yes.
whatever. Yeah,
Asteroid City. Sorry,
that's it.
I really disliked that one. I was not a fan.
That, and then also like the French Dispatch. I was like,
Also, just kind of
sure.
whatever. Yeah, but this one, back to his
Okay,
ways, is
good.
fucking hilarious.
Good to know. Good to
so
know. I'll
funny.
check it out.
Michael Cera, awesome. The Pee-wee documentary, it had to be in my top 10. I just had to do it because it's such a brilliant. Not only documentaries can be very dry these days because it's either talking head with archival footage and whatever else, right? Like that's basically it. And it can get boring unless your subject is interesting. And he is so interesting. And all of the stuff surrounding that documentary and how he wanted power the whole time.
The
and
fact
everything.
that those guys didn't even know he was dying while they were doing interviews with him. I mean, that just goes to show
Exactly.
how private he was.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
which
it's
you're
really-
right, makes it crackle.
It
in a
really,
different way.
obviously, I have like a connection to it. I know you do too. But it was so beautifully done, and what a great portrait of this guy. The hardest one to leave off for me was Sentimental Value, which is a movie that came out this year with Stellan Skarsgård. Weirdly, a plane movie, but I was like crying on the plane. It's Joachim Trier. He did the World's Worst Person and all of this stuff. He just has a way, and the performances here were just excellent. So that was a hard one to keep off. But I saw one in the last couple of weeks that just like overtook me that I had to put in my top 5. But enough of me babbling about this. I just want to point
I
out.
know.
I just want to point out.
We all know, Palcher, you watch a lot my movies.
I just want to point out. Not every year is this strong.
Right.
And it's particularly strong with horror, which is why my number 5 is Sinners.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's Ryan Coogler's probably my favorite Ryan Coogler movie. I think.
Oh, easily mine. Yeah.
It's kind of his From Dusk Till Dawn is what I've kind of been saying a little bit, but it's so well done in a world where we need original stories, especially stories like this, especially around horror. It was so prevalent, but awful. It was so relevant.
Yeah.
even though it's made back in, the 20s, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. But Michael B. Jordan just outstanding here. Like unbelievable.
Dual roles too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that looks so good here.
Yeah.
Like they do great. Like I don't even know how they're pulling some of this shit off.
It's funny because it didn't need to even be a vampire. Like
No.
the fact that there's like a horror element is kind of just an extra and also that.
Yeah.
Because it's going all over the place. I mean, that dance sequence where we're starting to see
that's one of the most original scenes I've seen in forever.
And it's kind of why, to me, sorry, I'm hijacking your review, but I was that's kind of why I was like, I really like, I like it more as a movie than I like it as a horror movie. There's not a lot of the horror elements that is a real big horror hound like I am that I was riveted by.
Sure.
But all the other parts of it I was.
But surrounded by, the music. It's so good here. And just the relationships and just, anytime like you put me in a room and I know, oh, you could not be you in 5 minutes and I have to kill you.
Right.
Like that's always going to draw great tension between characters and just so beautifully done. Really like, I've always liked Coogler's stuff, but I love this one.
It's pretty
This
incredible.
one's really good. So absolutely great movie. It's just wholly original and we need more of that.
Yeah.
So anyways,
fantastic.
Your number 4.
My number 4 I saw just a couple weeks ago. And I'm glad to see her back doing something because I think that she's such an incredible and interesting filmmaker. But it's Lynn Ramsey's "Die My Love." So Lynn Ramsey,
Lawrence, right?
So Lynn Ramsey did When You Talk About Kevin and You're Not Really Here.
Yeah.
Like I love her stuff. I think that she has like a really interesting eye. I think that she does really fascinating stuff. But Jennifer Lawrence. First time I ever saw her was in Winter's Bone.
Yep.
And she was so fucking amazing. And she's always solid in the stuff that she does. But I haven't really cared about much of it. Like, I think she seems like a wonderful person. She acts the hell out of stuff. But I'm like, I'm not a rom-com guy. Don't really give a shit about that. The whole like
Hunger Games
teen teen
Hunger Games
apocalyptic thing, I also don't really care about.
Yeah.
Like
it's battle royale. Basically.
Yeah, well, it's cornier battle royale.
Yeah, for teens.
For teens, and then if it's not that, it's like the Marvel movie stuff that she's done or things like that, and it's kind of
she's
like
not in Marvel, but yeah, I get.
Well, she was in all
I,
the X-Men movies. She was in the X, which are
I guess that's technically Marvel. Yeah.
And so it's like to see her come back around and do something really striking. I just loved this movie. It was one of these ones that afterwards I just kind of kept thinking about because it's so her character in it is equal parts really heartbreaking and terrifying. I don't know if you saw this.
It's on my queue. I've been meaning to watch it, but it looks like I feel like I have to be in a certain mood to be like ready for it. But I definitely want to see it. It's definitely on my list, but I have not gotten to it.
There is some real unreliable narrator stuff happening here. You can't tell in moments if things are being told to you out of sequence or if a lot of it you're in her head and she's someone who a lot of this movie and in reviews they talk about like, oh, this is a movie that's really about a postpartum depression, right? And her character having a child and then, not being able to handle the aspects of motherhood and going off the deep end. And that's true. She's also pretty sketchy before she has the kid. Like her relationship with Robert Pattinson, it's very animalistic. It is very sexual. And it's also like kind of harmful. Like they seem to like to beat each other up a lot.
It's interesting because you keep describing this, and I do love Jennifer Lawrence, but Rose Byrne did a fucking brilliant job in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You. And it's a very similar, it sounds like a very similar type story because that one is like,
yes,
I never want to watch this movie again, but damn, she's good.
So there is that element to it. I think as much as I liked that movie and Rose Byrne's performance in particular, Jennifer Lawrence's is more interesting because she's so quiet. You're just watching her going,
What's she going through?
What's gonna happen? Well, what random act of violence is going to suddenly happen that's going to be terrifying, right?
So, yeah, it's an edge of your seat thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and Robert Pattinson again, just like we've seen, like so damn good. But I really was.
I know I've said it before, but like he is not the kid from
Twilight at all.
Like,
and she's not Mystique from X-Men either.
For sure,
in this thing.
But it's just like I think he got that rap probably by us, deservedly at a
100%.
certain point. But
yeah,
man, he's turning into one of the great.
Well, and all these younger actors that are now growing up and doing these great things have to all start somewhere. So, but just to go back to Die My Love, I was really like. It's really unforgiving and unrelenting in a lot of ways, and I was so happy to see a movie that had two such big stars that it's also kind of impenetrable. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of symbolism in it. It ends completely symbolically, where you're like, was that just in someone's head? Was that a dream that we saw? And I really like that because I'm like, yeah, make an audience work for it. That's great, mm-hmm. especially if somebody's like, I'm going to go see the new Jennifer Lawrence movie because I really liked her in Silver Line Playing Books or whatever. Like, right? Like, you're going to be sad.
Yeah, she's not afraid to take a dark role.
No,
so
she isn't.
I appreciate her for that, and yeah, she's awesome. I'll have to catch up with that one, but it does sound like I need to be in a mood or like
very much
in
so.
the right mindset to sit through that.
Very much so.
The description doesn't make me want to click on it.
No, it's a feel bad movie for sure. So, which you know how much I love.
I mean, give me all the dark. Give it to me. I can handle it. I just sometimes you gotta be in the right mood.
You never know.
All right. So my number 4 is the movie that did jump into my top 10 after I saw it a couple weeks ago, but just a fucking gut punch of a movie. And it's Chloe Zhao's first movie that's really ever moved me, and it is Hamnet. It's so
I know the story really
well.
Yeah,
I'm sure you do. You're a big Shakespeare head.
Yep.
But this delivers you a second act that you're like, God damn. And then I'm like, oh, there's 45 minutes left? Oh, wow. Shit. And I'm like, how are they going to pull this off? And holy shit, do they. It's an experience, and even like the child acting is fucking amazing. You know, Jessie Buckley has never really been bad. I don't know if she's
like a generational actor at this point.
What has she been around 5 years?
Yeah,
like barely.
And it's like everything. You're just like
she's never been bad. I don't know if you saw what she did in Fargo.
Oh yeah,
one of the seasons of Fargo.
Abby and I just rewatched Chernobyl, and I totally forgot that she was in that. Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, she looks completely different. Her accent's completely different. She's incredible. So good. Like 5 years, and everything she does is so
she
good.
Deserves a win, I think.
Yeah,
I
can't wait to see it.
Blew me away. I don't want to say too much because it's just a movie you got to go in. I mean, obviously, if you know the story of Hamlet, you probably know some things that are going to happen. But, I won't spoil those here. Just go experience it. It is an expensive movie. Bring your fucking Kleenex. So, absolutely. It's a heartbreaker, but so well done. And I've liked some of Zhao's other stuff.
What else have they done?
She did Nomadlands with Frances
Okay.
I'm trying to think of what else. She did the Eternals movie, the Marvel movie.
Oh, weird. The fuck?
Yeah. I don't know. And a movie called The Writer. Some of the
Look, everybody's got to try and get that Marvel cash, man. At least one time in your career.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
You just got to give it a shot.
Oh yeah. I mean, Ryan Johnson did it.
What's the classic?
That was Star Wars money though.
What's the classic Michael Caine line where they ask him if he ever saw Jaws: The Revenge? He said no, but I saw the house that it paid for, and it's beautiful.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
You definitely need to put Hamnet on your list.
I definitely will.
I was really blown away with it, just emotionally, storytelling wise, how she makes it, the performances, like all around, just like stunned me. So absolutely go see that one if you haven't.
My number 3, another one that I think after I watched it, there's images. Like the plot is fun and gimmicky, but the images that stuck with me are truly just like haunting. And it's Bugonia, Yorgos Lanthimos. I think he's one of our most interesting directors working. It's
weird,
like
man.
Every movie of his, because I was thinking about like what else is he even like? And I could think of like other like quote unquote weird directors, but not one that has such a like singular vision, but the vision is different for each movie.
Absolutely
right?
different, yeah.
Lobster is nothing like Dogtooth, which is nothing like The Favorite, which is nothing like Poor Things, which
God,
is
I love The
nothing like
Favorite.
Begonia. And I don't know if you saw Begonia
Yeah,
or not.
absolutely.
This is still, and of course, Yorgos is such an asshole. He's like, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
And you're
of
like,
course.
I mean, you're not totally wrong, but it's like, it's a comedy in a, by definition of an insane asylum, right? It's not like a Naked Gun movie or anything, right?
No, yeah.
But it is like so unhinged, and the performances are so incredible. And talk about another generational actor. I think Emma Stone.
Oh, yeah.
And she tops herself every movie that she makes, which
amazing.
is crazy. And like
Poor Things, all of it.
and Poor Things, I was like, well, this is one of the most uncompromising, like brave performances I've ever seen. Then I saw Begonia, and I was like, all right, maybe she's just keeps one-upping it,
She picks great. I mean, I was saying this to my wife literally like yesterday. I'm like, I love her so much.
Yeah.
She's been like my favorite actress since probably Easy A.
And again,
or
let's
something
say
like that.
she's not just the girl from Superbad. Same thing
yeah.
as Robert Pattinson, right? Where it's like
Exactly.
they got to start someplace.
For sure,
And I love
absolutely.
that she's Lanthimos's muse, and that they've done all these movies together.
Well, same with Jesse Plemons.
Totally.
He obviously has his crew that he likes.
And let's talk about Plemons for a minute. Everybody knows, spoiler alert, Jesse Plemons is a great actor.
Yeah.
But he is unlike anything I've ever seen him do in this. He is sweaty and desperate and skinny and terrified looking, but also terrifying.
Yep.
And you kind of have no idea. There comes a point in the movie where you're like, this has to land in one of two places, and either one will make it a really, really fun and memorable movie. And so like, and then the unhinged place that it goes to, it just makes it even better. I love the way this movie looked. There's these strange surrealist moments where Jesse Plemons' character is remembering his mom, who is in the hospital in the ICU, but he has these memories of her. It's almost like Fellini, where it's like she's tethered. It's like the movie suddenly goes black and white, and she's tethered above her hospital bed by a single string, like a kite in the air. And I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Visually outstanding. Like, I mean, he definitely
all the bee stuff.
He keeps finding ways to be. I think you're very right. He's much more than weird, right?
Yeah.
He's experimental, and he doesn't want to make the same movie over and over. And some people are really good at that.
Yeah.
And that's totally fine. And we need those movies.
Totally.
But at the same time, yeah, if you had your choice as which way you would want to take your directing career, you'd be like, oh, that guy made that movie and that movie?
I know, right?
Because like The Favorite is just like this charming English
period
romp.
piece.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
And
you're like, that's the same guy who did The Lobster? Like, how can that be possible? It's the same guy.
It's like one of the most fucked up movies you'll see.
Same with Sacred Deer, right? You're just like, this thing is like a nightmare. And that movie feels like a David Lynch film, right? Like that. It's like, but each one.
David Lynch is actually probably a pretty. He's not nearly as mysterious or like heavy on the.
That kind of cerebral,
he's not like that as much, but his executions are obscure, like his. And again, his visuals are excellent. Like the end of this movie, I don't know exactly how I feel about it, honestly, but they fucking went there.
That's why I love it. Is because the whole time I was like, what? And then like the premise is weird enough, and then what you're seeing is unlike anything you've seen. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I just like, it was just fucking delightful. And I'm saying that about a movie that has multiple gunshot head trauma scenes in it, and it still is fucking delightful somehow. And yeah, it's a fucked up movie, but
outstanding,
just fantastic. So that's my number 3.
Yeah, no, I thought that one. When you kind of decided to switch it up and see the best,
you were wondering what would be on my list.
I don't think I would have guessed any of these necessarily, but not surprised one bit at all. So I appreciate it. All right, let's get on to my number 3. We've talked about this movie offline. I think it's the best horror movie in the last decade. I fucking love this movie, and it's Weapons. Zach Kreger's Weapons.
I left it off my list because I knew you were going to mention it, so we can talk about it.
I've watched it multiple times, and it's exactly how me personally wants a horror movie to be made. And I have so much fun with this movie. It goes places. It's it's again, originality is key. All of these movies are original. There's no remakes on our list normally, right? I guess Hamnet technically is a remake,
Maybe
to some degree, but original horror is super important. And it's not just great horror, though. It's well told. It's amazingly edited. They put you in and out of this world. And seriously, the editing is outstanding here. They jump around on the perfect spots that they need to remind you the kids running with the arms is going to be
iconic.
It's going to be iconic and mimicked forever.
Yep.
And Aunt Gladys, of course.
Yes.
Like they're already making her story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like they need to. I mean, it's truly one of the great horror movie villains we've seen in a long time.
Well, and I think
what was the last great horror movie villain?
I mean, you're totally right, and I think that there is not,
does Ghostface maybe count? But I don't know. Those movies are all the same movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nothing as iconic as Aunt Gladys in that same way. I mean, the only thing I can think of that comes close would be the stone hand from Talk to Me, right? Like, like there's some other iconic stuff, but I think as a full character,
as a villain though, like a personal villain, and just like when she walks in and Amy Madigan,
I know.
Thank you for doing this.
Just amazing.
Thank you for coming out of the woodwork.
Yes,
and absolutely nailing this fucking part.
Yeah,
I love it. I love how it ends. It's hilarious. One of my friends on Letterboxd, Brian Telrico, who writes for RogerEbert.com.
Oh yeah.
He called it George A. Romero's Magnolia,
which is so dead on.
And I thought, I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking
totally
good.
Well, and that's the thing too, is that you don't like think about all of the amazing moments in a movie like Hereditary that didn't have anything to do with horror, that were just like an incredible story being told.
Yeah.
And you're like, that is how you imbue the other parts with it. In this movie, it's like the entire, like the junkie story and the cop story, and
Julia
how
Garner
the
too,
POV, their POVs don't really line up, right? Like, and you're like, oh, because we have unreliable narrators. And like, does that matter to the horror? No. But does it matter to good storytelling? Of course.
And honestly, if Josh Brolin's in a movie, it's probably going to be good.
Yeah. And
he rarely chooses like shit stuff.
Well, and he's doing some good heavy lifting here, being kind of a
time.
dickhead. You know what I mean?
He's
like
great at it. He's wonderful. You believe it.
Yeah.
And I love the way they come together and how the whole story comes together, and the comeuppance, everything. It just spoke beautiful. I just can't. I can't stop thinking. It's a movie that I'd like. I know it's a weird horror movie, but like it was something that completely stuck with me. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I watched it multiple times, and all the symbolism inside of everything. Obviously, I'm not going to spoil it. But
well, one of my favorite
premise
parts
alone.
I mean, you say George Romero's Magnolia, and I totally think that's true. I think the other thing you could say about it is, if you put the whole thing in order and just gave somebody like a boilerplate of what it is, it's a fairy tale. It's the most classic.
Sure.
Like this is some Hansel and Gretel fairy tale with a witch and with children in it, right?
Yep. Basically.
And so you go, it's actually a ridiculously simple story that if you nest it in itself, tell it out of order, and then put it in modern times, we don't know what's happening till like the very end of the film. And then you sit with it for a minute and you go, oh, this is a Brothers Grimm fairy tale. Like there's nothing different from it being one of those.
But it's how it's told. It's how it's executed.
How it's acted. The fact that it's happening in this day and age where it's like there is all of these allusions to school shootings and to alcoholism and abuse and drug abuse and all these other themes. And then it's all like wrapped up in this fairy tale. And it's absolutely brilliant. I love this movie.
And I loved Barbarian too. Like I was like, damn, that's a really great movie. And then he came out with this. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
I know.
He's got a handle of the genre. I'll be very interested to see his career, but I love this movie.
I just hope if he does do this Resident Evil thing, just do that and then go back to telling your own stories.
That's the cash grab, right?
Yeah. It's that Marvel movie thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to do it.
Hey, I get it.
All right, back to mine. Now to my number 2, and here's a couple of guys that I hope never take the Marvel money or the Resident Evil money, because the only thing that to me this year in horror that came close to Weapons pulling up right behind it is the Danny and Michael Philippou film, Bring Her Back. So this is the sequel, or not the sequel. This is the second movie from the guys that did Talk to Me.
I still haven't seen this one.
I love this movie. It's Talk to Me did such a wonderful job in, obviously it talks about a lot of things, but one of the big themes in it is grief, and sort of like what you could or couldn't do different. This movie takes that and just like gives it a shot of adrenaline. Like it is so much more feel bad than Talk to Me is. It is
Great.
It is really, really dark, but the themes in it, and the style of it, it has this very rainy, waterlogged kind of thematic. There's lots of allusions to drowning. There's this very iconic swimming pool in it. We again have very much like Weapons. There's this character who may not be a witch. This time played by Sally Hawkins as one of the most. I mean, if there's somebody who can kind of come a little close to Aunt Gladys, like, but not in a fun way, not in a like, look how wacky and zany, just in a straight up like gaslighting, machinations, terrifying, like violent way. Sally fucking Hawkins, who would have thought, right? Wow. And she is so scary in this movie.
Yeah.
And then there's this little boy who may or may not be possessed, and he's a whole other thing. And there's some violent stuff in this, just like the eyeball squishing scene from Talk to Me. That's just as much like right now. I can go like this. I can picture the scene.
I think we've like forever we couldn't show shit like this.
Yeah.
And now it's fucking in every horror movie, and I think we've jumped the shark a little bit. It's a little much, and I'm just not necessarily one who loves the gore either. You're not going to scare me with gore. You're just going to repulse me, which I guess is the point too. But I don't know. I would love to see it dialed back a little. Not everything needs to show them smashing the face in.
I agree with that. And I do not, the furthest end of that stick into your Terrifier movies and that Damien Leone thing.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that. But if you can give me one really good, like what I'd like to refer to as one really good Michael Haneke moment of like, oh, fuck, like give me that.
A no shit moment.
Give me one, give me one eyeball. And then you're like, why?
Yeah.
And then go back and tell the rest of the story. So this has it has a couple, I guess.
I'm sure it does, because Talk to Me absolutely does.
Yeah.
And I love the aesthetics. I really like Talk to Me. That was one of my favorites of the movie of the year that came out, because it was just so well done, executed, and interesting.
Really unique.
An interesting, unique story that you've never seen before. So
but please bring her back. There's
another one I feel like I have to be in the mood for.
Yeah, I think so, but it also kind of washes over you in a way where it's like it is really feel bad by the time you get to the end of it, but it also just has this like, and I don't know if it's because last year I got my swimming pool, and so like I was filling my swimming pool up like right after I watched this, so I kept thinking about those scenes in it, and I was like, I don't know, it kind of like it got stuck in my brain.
Okay,
but
there you go, interesting.
I don't know.
Very, very interesting. My number 2, honestly, 1 and 2 here, really, really hard for me to choose which one. I like them. I think they're both masterpieces. This movie I saw at Sundance, Clint Bentley's Train Dreams.
Oh, yeah, you've talked about this
and one. I honestly there's a lot. Again, this is such a great year for movies. There's been some generational movies that have come out this year. And I do think this is like an American masterpiece that will be celebrated and looked upon for many years. It is one of the most gorgeous movies you've ever seen. It looks like a Malick movie. Clint Bentley, he did this movie, Jockey, that was at Sundance a few years before. And I kind of smugly... It was fine. Yeah. That's basically kind of what I said. In the thing, I was like, "Yeah, it's good." It looked good.
About a jockey.
Yeah, it was, basically. I was just kind of dismissed it a little bit, and he fucking floored me with Train Dreams, and it's just this experience that you go through. Joel Edgerton is as good as he's ever been. This early 20th century story where he's just trying to get by, and like you're living. Like on, going into town once a week, and he works the railroads in this movie, but seriously, like every shot looks like it's golden hour.
Wow,
like it's just one of the most stunning movies. And then you have this novella and script that was written with this, and the second time I watched it, the writing really stuck out because I was so encapsulated with the first time. Plus, I'm in Sundance, and you're just cranking through stuff, and but it still captured me. But I didn't have as much time to think about it. The second time I watched it, just like it's like when you hear that song lyric, that says everything that you have been wanting to say in like 5 words.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, it's all over it. Like the narration here, amazing. And I don't say that about narration ever. Edgerton's brilliant here. Honestly, it's one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time.
Wow.
I love this movie. It is sad. It's definitely got some sad moments. And like I said, bring me the dark and the sad. I'm fine with it. Because that makes you feel, it gives you empathy. You go through this experience with somebody and he's just a normal guy trying to get by. And we go through these ups and downs and it's just like a great American masterpiece. Like I said, I really truly think that, you just have, it's another experience. It's just like one of those. And that's what we go to the movies for, is an experience. And to be, live in this world and see the world through other people's eyes. And you're just so enveloped in this. And it's such well told, just everything, 5 stars all around, every aspect.
Wow.
Just, you got to see it.
And it's on Netflix. It's just, you can just watch it. Yeah.
It got bought from Sundance. By Netflix, yeah.
Wow.
So, which is crazy, but I think I know everyone says One Battle After Another is going to win Best Picture, but this is like a sleeper pick for me. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it kind of sweeps a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know if it gets the same love because it's a Netflix movie.
And maybe because it's kind of a quieter film. Like a lot of times that can be tough to.
Hamnet's a pretty fucking quiet movie.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's got all the buzz. So I don't know. Underrated masterpiece. If you haven't seen it, you have to. It will move you.
So going back to something,
if it doesn't move you, then I don't know what kind of person you are. I'm sorry.
I say I don't like it, and he quits the show.
Yeah,
that's it. I'm out. Going back to something you said earlier about like those things that you watch that even in the moment you maybe are kind of like okay, and then you can't stop thinking about them. And I think that's why this movie is my number one. And I mean, it still was enjoyable. I think it's a really well-made movie, and I think there's a lot of things in it that I liked, but it wasn't until the second time I watched it, and also, weirdly, the time in which I watched it, and that becomes relevant here, because the first time I watched this was probably in, like, August, and I think the second time I watched it was right before the holidays. But my number one is Ari Aster's Eddington. I think, in the same way that, like, there are 5-hour-long dissertations about Hereditary and about Midsummer and all the symbolism in it and all the like deep cuts about like this demon's called this because this is what this actually means. And you're like, how would you ever know that? Eddington is that on steroids because when you first watch it, and the first time when I heard about it, I was like, well, I don't want to watch that movie. It's about COVID. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, but you look at the cast and know who's doing it.
You're like, okay, right? And
it's very different than anything he's ever
very
made.
different than anything he's done, but it does have his black as night sense of humor in it.
For sure.
Which I think is great. And I think that it's beautifully filmed, and it's also really interesting what he chooses to film and what he chooses to leave out is always really fascinating. Like he'll show up after some horrendous gunfight and you're like, but why didn't we see the thing happen? Right.
Because it's not about that.
Yeah. It's not about that. And so not only was it already interesting because of what it had to say about that period of time, but on rewatch and reading interviews with him, he said in an interview, they said, well, what is Eddington about, if you could say? And he was like, it's about the people who live in a small town in Texas during COVID that has a data center built in its town. And I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything, right? Well, it is in the backdrop, right? There is a subtext, or there is a secondary storyline about this huge data center that's being built in the town. The name of the data center is Solid Gold Magic Carp, which is like, what the fuck does that mean? That's actually a term. The old chat GPTs couldn't say that phrase. It would break the AI if they did. And this movie is actually about how AI and how the government is basically going to keep feeding us disinformation so we all kill each other and don't actually try to fight the government anymore. And like that's what the cult subplot is about. Like all these different things. Like the movie's insane. And when I watched it the first time, I was like, that was a wild ride. And then watching it again months later, after Charlie Kirk's assassination, after all the ICE videos started showing up, after all the additional school shootings that we've had, after the Epstein files, all these plots that are about satanic child trafficking rings, about them going around and he's shooting up the town while he's filming it with his phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, does Ari Aster have a fucking crystal ball? Like, I think in 10 years, this movie will be seen as like, this is the culmination of all of our fears and anxieties of this period of time. And everybody before they saw it was talking shit, being like, why is he talking about COVID? That was 5 years ago. And you watch it, and when you understand all these other things that he's talking about, I'm like, how did he know?
Yeah,
How was he
I wonder
so
if a movie
on the
being
tip
about
of the
COVID
spear?
was the hook or the withdrawal for people or not.
Apparently he had some version of like a modern Western that was about politics way before COVID. He actually wrote it before Hereditary. And then I think, as he did with everything else, he injected all the fears that he's having in the moment into the story. But my God, this movie has layers to it that I think you could write a novel about just the subtext and not even touch on Joe Cross and, you know what I mean? These amazing characters that he created that are the front of the movie. I just can't stop thinking about it. Like, I'll probably watch it again next week.
I'm really glad this movie exists, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a really just genius little snapshot of that time too.
Yeah.
And how each side saw each other.
Totally.
And it's just kind of the societal experiment almost,
It definitely
right?
eventually goes off the rails, but that first hour, you're like, he's not taking any sides. He eventually does. But for that first hour, you're like, oh yeah, everybody sees each other with like total suspicion. But again, we're all being manipulated by this data center that's being, it's so...
Joaquin Phoenix, amazing.
Oh
Same
my
with Pedro
God.
Pascal,
Yeah,
amazing.
just incredible movie.
High bar comedy though, seriously. Fucking funny.
Dark as fuck. So dark. But just like, yeah, all this subtext in it is like wild, and it's aged so unfortunately well.
Yeah.
Since I saw it in August, where I was like, oh, I think I get with it. And then it's like the fall and winter happened, and I'm like, we're becoming Eddington.
Yeah. Sadly, you're right. Okay, moving on to my number one, and then we'll get to Sundance, Best of Sundance. So stick around if you guys want to hear about that and those movies that I liked and kind of some of my final experiences there. But my number one is, of course, One Battle After Another. Again, this really hard to match with Train Dreams. I really love Train Dreams a lot, and I kept swapping them, and I'm like, I don't know. I've watched this one 3 times now, including a 70 millimeter in the theater experience that was outstanding and needed to happen. It's some movies you just got to see in the theater, I think. But it's kind of everything I think it's PTA's best movie since The Master.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm not a huge Licorice Pizza is a very interesting, weird movie, and I love Cooper Hoffman.
Yeah,
and Incoherent Vice is kind of it's Inherent Vice.
That's the joke.
Yeah, but that one I'm very mixed on. But
same with Phantom Thread.
Just putting these two together, him and Leo, come on already. You're like, please, why hasn't this been done before? Because Scorsese keeps stealing him.
The whole second half of this movie is just insane.
I mean, absolutely.
It's so
Once
funny.
the setup's there, this movie fucking goes.
It's in that stupid little car that he's
in my first Letterboxd review, I said the revolutionary stoner dad revolution is here. I love his character. This is obviously tops Leo stuff here. He's truly a great movie star.
Yep.
He is so insane here, and you think he's pretty insane in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? He goes off the rails a bit there.
Yeah.
And he likes a good intense performance, but him in this fucking outfit, the whole move with the sunglasses and the beanie.
It's like he's doing his Big Lebowski.
It totally is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But he has a passion, and it's his daughter. And Chase Infinity here, fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
she's good,
incredible.
And honestly, wow, I can't wait to see what she does. She is so good here, and that's a debut, craziness. It's such a wild ride. Benicio del Toro, I love you. Please never die.
Well, and he got to come up with all that.
I want Sensei to have his own movie.
Well, just like in the way that when we were talking about the Drexel scene and how basically Oldman just told Tony Scott I'll come up with something, then showed up the day and was like, this is what he looks like. That's P.T. Anderson let Del Toro do that. And so he just showed up and was like, I think, They're like, why were you dancing when you got pulled over from the cops? And he's like, I was probably trying to like put him at ease. And I was like, of course he is. So he's doing that little dance.
It's so brilliant. Like every second he's on screen.
Yeah.
The scene down the hallway where the fucking Wes Anderson moment with the
where the rug rolls back down.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's just like
he's introducing Leo to his
the
whole
thing
family.
Is, Leo's not helpful at all through this movie. Like,
he's fairly inept.
He's an anti-hero, but like he doesn't really help anything.
No.
But it's so fun to watch to me. I had such a good time. I think the Christmas Adventures and the French 75 are fantastic names for gangs.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Again, feels very Wes Anderson-y.
Yeah, I can see that. But that's funny. It's kind of, you wouldn't think of those two as matching, but kind of a little bit here. Actually, I could see it now that I think about it a little more. But and the second time I saw this, the score absolutely stood out. Johnny Greenwood's amazing score, because I was so wrapped up in it. Similar to like Train Dreams, first time, there's other aspects you can like notice or concentrate on that really affect you as you're watching it. And I absolutely it just gets stuck in your head. It's just one of those, and he's so brilliant. Just so hilarious. The way the chase scene at the end with the way it's shot. You know, especially in that 70 millimeter.
Kind of unlike anything.
Yeah, we've seen a million chase scenes in movies, and it was just for some reason, just drastically different and such a different experience. And this movie I could watch right now if you turned it on.
I watched it. I had told you that I was like, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
And what it came down to for me was, it's not even, I don't want to say the writing, because the writing makes it sound like it's the dialogue, and it's not the dialogue. It's the plotting, which again, Inherent Vice, also a Thomas Pynchon story. Yeah. One Battle After Another also is. So those plotting elements, like the first time I watched it, I was kind of like, oh, that's it? Like I didn't, and you had said, watch it again, you'll like it a lot more. And I did, and I do. Good. Because I'm not waiting for something. Not that a movie can't surprise me. It's not that. It's it's when something feels off kilter and you're like, like that's weird. Why did we? And
again, culturally relevant too, politically, if you're talking about kind of what, the revolution versus the basement full of white guys.
And I think it's, and I think that's another thing that's kind of, tough, or at least worth mentioning, is it's like the story is obviously much older than the relevance of the way that it feels today. But I think also there's that sort of like that cynicism of like, well, is the revolution actually a revolution if the two main people that we followed through this, one is a stoner who can't seem to even like keep his shit together and keep his daughter at home, and the other one is this like home wrecker, almost like really tough stereotype of like black femininity, like there, you know what I mean? There's like these loaded like subtexts in there.
Sure.
So I think that is also why some people didn't like this movie. I think going back to something like Magnolia and Boogie Nights that had such great senses of humor, I'm glad in this day and age P.T. Anderson got his sense of humor back, because I think he's got a great one, and we have not seen it in decades.
I agree. A lot of his movies are hilarious. Boogie Nights, hilarious.
But then he did a lot of not funny at all movies.
That's true, and that's totally fine too. Yeah. But I agree, it's great to have his sense of humor back. Definitely his funniest movie in a while.
Yeah.
But again, and Sean Penn, fucking awesome.
Just such a disgusting
Pussy Don't
character.
Pop for You.
Ugh.
Just fucking hilarious. I love this movie, every aspect. It's just, again, it's kind of like how I was describing Weapons. It's exactly how I want, like the kind of P.T. Anderson movie that I've been waiting for.
Right.
Those other movies have their merit, but like, and Phantom Thread's fine too, but this is way better than Phantom Thread in my opinion.
Last thought, and this is just when I was doing my research, that I'm like, what's happening with Darren Aronofsky? He seems like he's kind of going off the deep end.
I mean,
this caught stealing movie, it's like, are you trying to be Guy Ritchie?
Oh,
like,
totally.
What the
I hated
fuck?
that movie, actually.
But like, and it makes no sense. Like, he's never done anything like that before. So he has that, and then he's doing this
He's trying to be the Coen brothers.
Well, and then doing this Days of 1776 thing. Have you seen this? That his production company is doing?
No, but he did the Noah's Ark movie.
Well, the new thing he's doing,
that I was lost after.
His production company is doing AI videos that are supposed to be from the Revolutionary War. And they're terrible. They're getting terrible reviews. And it's like, look what we can do. It all looks, and you're like, no, it just looks like AI slop videos. Like, what are you doing, dude? So like, yeah, when I saw the trailer for Caught Stealing, I was like,
It's bad.
What's
I did not
going
like
on?
it. They tried way too hard. It was him trying to be Coen Brothers, though.
I wasn't sure if it was Coen Brothers or Guy Ritchie.
I could see that a little bit too. Yeah.
Just that fast paced, like
it is very different, and good for him for trying something different, but didn't land totally for me.
don't
I
know
like
what's
Austin
going
Butler
on.
too, but it was just kind of whatever.
I'm okay on Austin Butler. He's all right. He was good in Eddington, but he also just kind of super normal. Like, who's the guy in the Running Man?
Oh, Glenn Powell.
He's another like mad normal dude that I'm like,
Glenn Powell's great. I love him.
I think he's fine.
I love him.
I think he's just fine.
He's
I think
charming.
I think he's just seems like a.
All right, this pussy's not popping for you tonight. Sorry.
He seems like a super normal. Yeah, I guess let him be in movies. Why not? That's what he seems like to me.
Hey, we need like movie star type guys, I think.
I guess that's
and girls and everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone. All right. Well, I don't necessarily have anything prepared to talk about. I have the movies definitely that
This
I want
is
to
just
talk about.
this is the way you do it, man.
But this is kind of a special Sundance. It was definitely a sad one. Fuck you, Utah politics, for letting this leave. The one cool thing, or not the one cool thing, but one of the cool things that
It's on a
our
short
state has,
fucking list.
that we're from Salt Lake City, for those who don't know. And so I've been going to this since I was a film student, since I think 99. I think this was my 27th year. And I have so many memories of so many movies that I would have never seen if this wasn't just happened to be in the state I lived in when I graduated high school. And so, it's been a very special thing. It was a class I have a film degree from the U, and it was one of the classes to get your film degree is like, hey, you get this X amount of credits, and the more reviews you do, the better your grade is. And so I went and saw like 20 movies and started writing stuff. Yeah, basically, honestly, that's a big part of it probably. But it kind of got you thinking about movies in a different way. So it really just changed how I viewed movies, and I got exposed to countless. I mean, I've probably seen 1,000 Sundance movies at this point.
I'm sure.
But I got to see so many things. Like, one of my favorite stories is I got to see Memento and Donnie Darko back to back.
God,
Like, just like this.
Wet Hot American Summer. I mean, I remember so many times you coming back and being like, dude, you guys.
Honestly, it's countless movies, but like, in one of my favorite stories to extend on the Memento one is the Q&A, and I will miss the in-person Q&As. I will still be going, but just online. I'm not going to Boulder, at least at this point. There's no reason to really, but I will watch all the competition stuff online going forward, but it's not going to be the same. I did this by myself, let me tell you. Like, I did it with friends at the beginning where we used to sleep out at Trolley Square for tickets the night before, literally sleeping on concrete, waking up to get tickets and all that stuff before online was a thing. And yeah, it was a long time ago. But the Memento story.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm just kind of
No, go
here.
for it. I love this story.
Is no one really knew who Christopher Nolan was, and Jonathan Nolan writes all of his brother's movies.
Yeah.
And they were both there.
Yeah.
And the first question someone asked after they kind of gave a little intro.
Oh, I thought it was the last question.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it
Okay.
wasn't. But
To me, knowing this story, to me, it's the last question. It's like
it might
you get
be.
one more.
It might have been near the.
You get one
end.
more
I can't
behind the
remember
scenes, nugget of wisdom about this amazing fucking generational movie.
Yeah, it might have been the last question. I don't know that for this story's sake, let's say it is. But she says, so you guys are brothers, but why do you have an English accent and your brother doesn't? After seeing Memento, that was
I love it so much.
That's the story that's the question she asked. After that mindfuck of a movie, but hilarious.
And wasn't it like, well, our parents got divorced when we were younger, and he grew up with our mom, and I grew up with our dad.
Basically.
Good night, everybody.
Yep, thanks.
Yeah, you can picture I can picture the sound of every person.
And you look back and that's the question you asked Christopher Nolan. Okay. Cool.
Fucking love it.
Anyways, there's countless stories and countless many friendships that I had of people that you recognize, or just a random person you sit next to, asking them how many movies they've seen, what's their favorite, where they're from, whatever. And you just have it standing in line. A lot of it is standing in line. especially if you want to get into shit.
Sure.
So you have to schedule. And so I did this all by myself, riding buses for years.
Just in the freezing cold.
I'm gonna miss it. It was weirdly almost no snow at all. It didn't snow. It snowed a little bit, but nothing stuck. But normally, yeah, there's some years where it's fucking 20 feet of snow, crazy amount. So, but I'm gonna miss it. I absolutely love Sundance, and it's really opened my eyes as a film lover. I went as a film fan, a film student, film critic, so I have a lot of emotion attached to it and a lot of memories of something that I really love. So it's cool to see. So it was interesting to have a last year and see, how good the stuff is. And there's a lot of good stuff. Again, I saw 35 movies. Some stuff that I saw that I can mention that isn't in my top 5. I'm just doing my 5 favorites. But Greg Araki's new movie, I Want Your Sex, Olivia Wilde and Cooper Hoffman's like her sex slave in it. It's wild. It's great. It's hilarious.
Araki's still making the crazy, horny, weirdo movies.
It's super funny, though.
Good.
It's super funny.
Good.
There's one called The Incomer with Domhnall Gleeson that was fantastic that I loved. A bunch of great docs, of course, as always. And then I saw Macon Blair's new movie, The Shitheads, which is awesome. I loved it. Right down your alley for sure.
Okay.
Macon Blair. He did Green Room.
Yes. Blue Ruin. Yeah.
He acted in Blue Ruin. I think he's the director of the other two, I think.
Oh,
but
okay.
Regardless, I saw Jade Duplass's new movie, which was just amazing. Like, it was the last in-person one I saw. And I was really excited to see it and have him there because him and Mark are both emotional about Sundance because it vaulted their careers.
Totally.
And so it was a perfect, and it was kind of the perfect Sundance dramedy, where the funny sad, and they did it great. And it's a very personal movie and beautiful. But there's a lot of good stuff this year. And honestly, some of the worst shit I've ever seen. There's a couple movies in particular that I'm like, what the fuck are you trying to do say here? Terrible. And they were competition films too. They're just awful. I was not a fan of those two. I won't talk shit. But okay. So the ones I did like, I'm going to start off with my number 5 here. I know you probably interject whenever you feel is natural.
No, go for it, man.
Okay, so my number 5, and I have a feeling maybe if I see it again, it'll jump up higher. But it is a film called Take Me Home, directed by Liz Sargent. It actually stars her daughter who has a disability. I'm sorry, her daughter. I actually think it's her sister. I'm sorry, but this one hit me hard, and you'll understand why in a minute here. But as a man who adopted an autistic son when he was 7 years old, still in my life, he's 24 now and an adult living with us. I could relate to a lot of the struggles in this.
Sure.
And so there's a lot of moments inside of this where I was like, oh, that's a little too real there. But it's just amazing writing. Obviously a personal story, which is always going to get you. You can tell what's going on. But it's essentially like the older people taking care of the person with disabilities, and how them getting older and they need care while the disability person also needs care. This real thing that happens a lot. And Caden will be probably our forever kid. Like, he probably will always live with us.
Right.
Because he is somewhat low functioning.
And when you and your wife get old, this is something that your daughter is going to have to contend with.
Absolutely. And so there's a lot of stuff going on here. The performances on Anna Sargent, which is her sister again, I believe, plays the main role and is just truly magnificent. She is a person with disabilities and is just amazing here. Like, heart-wrenching, but like, wow. Excellent stuff. But I hope people watch this movie. I hope they learn something from this movie. There's a lot of angles this could have taken, especially at Sundance, where you're like, I don't know what's going on next.
Yeah.
And most of this shit's pretty traumatic, or like, oh yeah, we're fucked, or societal doc or whatever. So happy with where it landed, and ultimately just a really great film. So
very cool.
This one obviously a personal choice for me, but one that I thought really had to, I had to watch. So I had to be ranked in there for me. All right, on to my fourth one here, The History of Concrete. Do you know anything about this movie?
No.
It is John Wilson. Do you know who John Wilson is? He makes a TV show. He made a TV show on HBO, and it was him going around like fixing all this weird stuff and learning about weird things. Very interesting, peculiar guy. Super funny. He's a comedian. But this movie was just pure enjoyment. I had so much fun. It was kind of movie I needed. I need like kind of these lifts in Sundance.
Yeah.
Because you are watching a lot of, like I said, 4 movies a day.
Yeah, man.
And some of it could be like heavy. Like I need a comedy. This guy somehow, like if you look him up, you'll know who he is. I promise. But he somehow made a movie about concrete, like actually about the human condition, and like he like looks deep into these weird things, but also picks out the funniest. Like it's basically him walking around with a camera. That's all it is.
Right.
And him editing, cutting together. His editing is immaculate here, and you could tell he's a comedian because the jokes are there, like, and he and you know the shot of what he's talking about versus, you know, because he's basically narrating the movie. I would watch it again right now.
The History of Concrete.
The History of Concrete.
Okay.
And if you know John Wilson, especially you in the audience, yeah, I think you probably know what I'm talking about. He just has a certain style of how he made his TV show is very much made.
What's his show called?
Yeah, the show on HBO is How To with John Wilson, but his show is very, very much made the same way as this one. So a fun ride and seriously just pure entertainment. It's worth the ride. So very interesting analysis of concrete and how fucked up it is. He actually gets into like, why is this concrete like this and this concrete like this, you know, and like, and again,
I can appreciate that kind of, yeah.
No, and somehow he turns it around into you like thinking about everyone. And
right.
Anyway, so just amazing stuff. All right. My number 3 is a documentary by Rebecca Zweig and Efron Mojica. They directed a documentary called Haripo. And this is basically about these rodeo cowboys in Michoacan in Mexico, but they're queer cowboys. And it's, you know, it's this kind of, it's a world you and I and most people don't know, right? Mm-hmm. Like, but it's what it's like to be queer. When I got into this movie, I thought I was watching a narrative movie, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, this is a documentary.
Wow!
Because of the way it's made, it is like a hypnotizing, authentic piece of art. It's very sexy, and it really questions masculinity. And maybe it's something with Mexican culture, but these guys are answering some honest, deep, dark questions in this movie. And it's never like it's them opening up. It's not like someone pressuring them to answer questions. It's like a true piece of art. I was blown away with just how beautiful it was, what the story was telling, because there's about 3 or 4 different stories going on here, like some documentaries do. But like, again, you honestly might not even know this is a documentary when you watch it because it's so well made. And what a representation of these people that you don't really think about, but go to a very macho thing like the rodeo. Yeah. And that's what a lot of this is based around is rodeo. One of them's a rodeo clown.
And in Mexico, I mean, in a society of like real hyper masculinity.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what it's like, and like what it's like to be a man, and there's where's the line drawn and all of this stuff. And obviously everyone has their own gauge of what their moral code is or whatever you want to call it. But, just culturally outstanding. Never really seen this, and just an open conversation. And it's not even a conversation. It's just honestly these guys just talking about it.
Wow.
About kind of their experiences and how they got to where they were and where they are with their families and stuff like that. But it's just something that needs to be seen. But yeah, I got entranced with this one and really loved it. I hope it does something because it's really good.
That's awesome.
Okay, number 2. This one, oh man, I was so happy to honestly, these last 2 were being my 2 and 1. My number 2 is The Only Living Pickpocket in New York. It is a Noah Segan movie. He's an actor. If you Google his name, you'll be, oh, that guy. But he does this tight 90-minute gem of a movie. It's essentially John Turturro being the only living pickpocket left in New York. So it's him going around the subways and lifting people's phones and watches and whatever he can. And it was just a goddamn good time. It reminded me, it kind of like, and maybe a lot of it was the score, but it just put me in this New York City that was like a 70s vibe. But it's a modern movie. But they have this kind of like, the score reminded me of like Out of Sight. Do you remember the score in Out of Sight?
Yes, I do.
Like it kind of just puts you in there. It's kind of like hazy, and it just puts you in this world. That it was outstanding score. John Turturro's performance, Steve Buscemi's in this. There's a bunch of great New York actors.
Yeah,
right. Like that you think of a New York guy or girl, and some of the performances were just. So good. It was just a fun ride, a cool crime thriller that caught stealing. Wish it was.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So absolutely great time, everyone. I hope this movie does fantastic.
Wow.
I love that one. So yeah, I like. There's a lot of movies that I see, especially in these press tents, where it's a lot of press and industry people who like. Maybe they're up for distribution and like, okay, this is not our movie. A lot of walkouts, basically, is what I'm saying. At some point, no one walked out of this movie.
Everybody was in.
Everybody
was in for it
the whole time. So it's like that great of a movie. Absolutely go see it once it becomes live, because it's going to hopefully take over. We'll see. It's just kind of, I think it'll be a great movie of 2026. So I hope anyways.
I can't wait.
And then the last one here, this is a movie directed, first-time director, Patrick McKinley. He is actually an editor, and this is his directorial debut. You would have no idea.
Really?
Absolutely no idea. This honestly kind of...
what's it called?
I'm sorry. I didn't say it, but it's his movie called The Wait. It's got Ethan Hawke and Russell Crowe in it.
Okay.
And, man, amazing Ethan Hawke performance here. But, again... the way this was made, kind of how it makes you feel. It gave me kind of an Unforgiven feel a little bit, but it's essentially a 1930s Depression era Oregon, and these guys basically are doing a dirty job. I won't say much more, but it kind of gave me like a Deliverance meets like Unforgiven, and not Deliverance how you're like the go-to, but just like that's a tense ass movie, right?
100%.
The whole time, and crazy, but it kind of gave me a mixture of those two, which are two fucking fantastic movies, right?
Totally.
Definitely like a guy's kind of movie, I guess, a little bit, but like anyone would be wrapped up with this. It definitely has maybe echoes of Train Dreams a little bit, maybe because it's just a similar era and kind of looks, the backgrounds are maybe similar or something like that. But The Wait with Ethan Hawke and Russell Crowe, awesome cast.
I love a good Ethan Hawke performance,
and
man.
As a girl dad who the whole time very similar to kind of one battle, trying to save your daughter. Yeah,
Hits home.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Sorry, but that was it. Some
Know
really
who
great,
you're making movies for. That's what you got to do.
some really great stuff this year. A lot of really good stuff. Or good, and then like I said, a couple that stood out. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Can't all be winners, like you said in Bad Santa.
That's right. That's one of our favorite sayings around here. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for enduring my adventures throughout the years, and I'll still be reporting on it, but probably not to the same degree.
End of an era, man. What a bunch of bullshit.
Absolutely. And you always said it was my Vandelay Industries.
It was. It's always your Vandelay Industries. You're like, I do a show, and it's like in my friend's basement.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people do shows in their basements.
You're totally right. You're totally right.
So
but it is
we were setting a trend.
Yeah, we were way ahead.
A great year, a lot of great world dramatic stuff. I always watch a lot of the world dramatic as well because that's competition, and there's always some gems hidden in there. They rarely ever like go a lot of places that I can think of, but some brilliant, wonderful stuff that I again would never see otherwise.
Right.
So, and that's part of the fun of Sundance, and I will continue the legacy, but it definitely will not be the same. I will not miss waking up at 6 a.m. to drive 40 minutes to get to a theater and then walk
park
half
20
a mile.
minutes away. Yeah, totally.
But still, that's part of the fun too.
Yeah,
it would have been fun to have someone to do it with, and I definitely have some long-term friends that I've done it with, and I even have a Sundance boyfriend. My wife calls it. So, and he's actually been on the podcast before.
Oh, yeah.
But regardless, thank you, Sundance, for all the years here in Utah. And hopefully you come back and learn your lesson that I'm sure Boulder's fine.
I'm sure it'll be just fine.
But thank you very much. If you like what you see/hear, find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Bye, you guys.
Thanks.